are an aburu. Maybe you are an aburu. Your great-grandfather did aburu. No, there's nothing bad. Someone can come up in a family and aburu when they do. After all, people are using aburu to feed their families because it's being aburu. You know, people can use aburu. Yes, aburu is a business. It's a business. No matter how people regard it, somebody can do aburu to feed. I know brothers that are doing it, but they do it responsibly. They are doing it and they are feeding their family. They are building houses with aburu. Yes, they are responsible. When you see them, no matter they are doing aburu work, they are responsible people. You see them responsible. Not the one that here they don't break up. One teeth don't come out. They don't tear here. The shirt itself na tata shirt is a heavy dose man. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of aburu. Their great grandfather did it. Aburu. He died in aburu. Their second generation, third generation, fourth generation. His father is a shred aburu. And him too now is aburu. That's the type. That one is a foundation. It's a foundation. It's a foundation. You need to tackle it. It's a foundation. These are foundations. There are spiritual family foundation that our fathers laid down that is affecting us today. Of course, you know, the Bible said, or the scripture said, when the foundation is being destroyed, what shall the righteous do? There are people that their fathers, their forefathers, maybe great-grandfathers have laid down foundation, bad legacy that follows them up. Even up to today, they are experiencing the same thing. That's what I mean by spiritual bad foundation. That's what I want to teach today. Now, for example, a story was told where a couple had no child. For many years, they have no child. This thing I told you is a life story that happened years back. The couple, they get married, they have no child. So they look for child, they couldn't get child. And they are advancing. So they have to go and meet certain spiritualists. And the spiritualist told them that, look, with my shrine, I will make you have a child. But you're going to make a certain donation. You're going to make a certain sacrifice. And this sacrifice is that those children will serve these gods. Are you getting me? The woman said, no problem. The two couples said, no problem. If they can have a child, their problem is to let them have a child so that the shame can at least go out. And they accepted to give those children to those gods to serve those gods. Not as in going to serve to the shrine, but those children have to pay homage, keep paying homage. And them too, they have to keep paying homage. And certain rituals was done. And this couple, the wife became pregnant. And they begin to give birth, normal birth. The womb was opened by these gods. The womb was opened. So as much as the parents are alive and be doing what they asked them to do, they had no problem. Things were moving. The children were growing. They had certain children. At a time when the couple died, after some years, when the couple died, and the children, now they are Christians, they can no longer serve those idols or those spirits. Those spirits becomes angry and they attack. Are you getting me? They attack. They can attack in different forms. They can make them, they will no longer have a child because they are the people who made the children, who made their parents to have them. Are you getting me? So they attack those people and they cannot have a child. So many of them grow up without facing the same problem. And this keep happening. So that is what we mean by bad foundation. A lot of people have bad foundation. And if your foundation is not being treated, no matter where you go, if you like Japa, if you like travel to overseas, if you have a bad foundation, you cannot succeed. Depending on the type of bad foundation you have. Because foundation differs from one people to another. There are certain people in a family, everybody is in the same level. Nobody can assist each other. Nobody cannot go to them and say, let us raise $50,000 or $100,000 or 100,000 naira. They cannot raise it. Everybody will be running around saying 2 months time, 3 months time. Everybody is the same level. Nobody can help each other. Such people, such family are suffering from foundation. If you know in your family, you are up to 5 or 6, and all of you are the same. All of you are struggling. Nobody is making a hair. Nobody is growing financially. You can't boast of 1 million, you can't boast of 500,000. Nobody can help each other. They don't have, not that they don't want to help, they don't have it. Some of them are 50, some of them are 60, some of them are 40. They have not touched ordinary 500,000 naira in their life. Then there is a problem in that family. There is a foundational problem in that family. A particular sickness in that family. It could be BP. It could be cancer. It could be anything. But that family keep experiencing that particular sickness. Their grandmother sick that sickness. Their great-grandmother sick the same sickness. Their mother sick the same sickness. Them now they are seeking the same sickness. Then it's a foundational problem. So that's what we're talking about. Foundation, bad foundation is very terrible. Some people could be premature death. They don't reach certain age, they die. What I'm saying, what I'm talking about situations where not just one person. Yes, there are situations people can pass through certain situations. But I'm talking a situation where in that family, it traces that family lineage, either the father lineage or the mother lineage. You find out that about 3-4 persons have suffered the same thing. Then it's a foundational problem. It could be drunkard. It can come in form of being drunkard. A lot of people have a foundational problem in drunkenness. If you trace their lineage, you discover that great-grandfather is a drunkard. Their grandfather is a drunkard. Them now they are drunkard. Their first son is drunkard. These are foundational problems. These are legacies that can be laid by one person. And you know one thing about this bad foundation? It can start anytime. It can start in your own generation. If nothing is done, it can start. Those people that are suffering now because of what their fathers did, it started just a time. It started at a particular time. That's why we say people should live good lives. Live good lives. Okay, for example, you are a woman, maybe you are a single mother, for example, and you are using money from prostitution to train your children. Money from prostitution. You go here, you collect. You go here, you collect. You go here, you collect. And you are using those money to train those children. I tell you, it's a foundation. It has started. You see that those your children, their female children, can end up becoming prostitutes. Because that is how they are being trained. That is where the source came. That's how foundation stands. If you are a single mother and you have a man in your life who is helping you to train the children, it's okay. There's nothing wrong about it, because someone must help somebody. Maybe your brother, or maybe your uncle, or maybe your friend can even decide to be helping the family. It's okay. But I'm talking of where your work is prostitution. You collect from different men to train their children. It's a bad foundation. You're laying a foundation that will go through generational. You will not believe me, I'm telling you the truth. Go and make research. So these are bad foundations. But I will tell you what to do today. Or at least your capacity, you can do something about it. Of course, so if a foundation can be broken, you can decide. If you discover a foundation in your lineage or your family, you can decide to stop that foundation. Your own children will not get it. Yes, you can stop it. Like for example, also stealing. There are people who their great-grandfather is native. In fact, their great-grandfather, their fourth great-grandfather was buried alive because of stealing. Because in the community, they have warned him. He keeps stealing. They warn him. So the thing became too much. In those days, people have mind. So they have to bundle the great-grandfather, open ground, and bury him alive, and he died because of stealing. And his children begin to steal. So his great-grandfather, fourth generation, is a thief. His second generation is a thief. Third generation is a thief. Even the father now is the father that gave back to him is a thief. And this stealing is not in one pattern, different pattern. And then you are also practicing stealing. It may not be with gun. It may be that maybe if you enter any shop, you put something in your pocket. It may be that a different way of, what I mean. Stealing is stealing. Collecting people's things without their permission is stealing. But you are doing it in different ways. Your grandfather do it, your great grandfather do it, you are doing it, your father did it, and that. In fact, your senior brother was shot by police. You people did not see the cops because of stealing. Your second son was killed also by military. You didn't see the cops because of stealing. Your junior brother is in the prison now because of stealing. This is foundational problem. You need to break it. You need to tackle it. You need to do something about it, because it will keep growing. It will keep growing. That's what we're talking about. Or you are an aburu. Maybe you are an aburu. Your great grandfather did aburu. No, there's nothing bad. Someone can come up in a family and Nabro when they do. After all, people are using Nabro to feed their families because it's being Abro. You know, people can use Abro. Yes, Abro is a business. It's a business. No matter how people regard it, somebody can do Abro to feed. I know brothers that are doing it, but they do it responsibly. They are doing it and they are feeding their family. They are building houses with Abro. Yes, it happened. They are responsible when you see them. No matter they are doing Abro work, they are responsible people. You see them responsible. Not the one that here they don't break up. One teeth don't come out. They don't tear here. The shirt itself na tata shirt. It's a heavy dose man. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of Abro. Their great grandfather did it. Abro. He died in Abro. Their second generation, third generation, fourth generation. His father is a shredded Abro. And him too now is Abro. That's the type. That one is a foundation. It's a foundation. It's a foundation. You need to tackle it. It's a foundation. These are foundations. So evil foundations are terrible. Today I want you to check yourself, check your family. Especially in Africa, a lot of people have foundational problems. Our fathers did horrible things. In fact, I want to let you know there's nobody there is nobody in Africa that does not have foundation. You must have one thing or the other. This foundational problem is also in the positive side, though, not only in the negative. I'm just talking about the negative part because I know that the negative part is horrible. We have positive part of foundation. There are people who their great grandfather welcomed the missionaries from outside. The missionaries, the first our church father, they welcomed them, fed them, clothed them, give them house to stay. The missionaries, some of them gave land to churches in their great grandfathers. The great grandfather is a priest. The second generation, third generation, fourth generation, they are pastors, priests. That's what they are in their lineage. You see those people, because they serve God, God opened their prosperous. Prosperity is flowing in that family. They are doing well in that family. That family is a Christian family. Or that family is a Muslim family, and they are doing perfectly well. Every one of them, nobody is struggling. They are reaping from the fruit of what their father did, because their father has served God and these sacrifices by giving lands, welcoming missionaries, and those things they did, God is paying them. So it's not only in the negative side. They are doing well. Okay, once in a while, I can remember years back, where Pastor Chris, for example, was saying, yes, I listened to that commentary. He said he never know in his life, he doesn't know what is poverty. Pastor Chris, I'm talking about Pastor Chris. He said he doesn't know what is poverty. He was telling people. He said because his father is rich. He was brought up in a rich family. His father is a pastor. I don't know whether he's a priest or what, but pastor. But according to him, even his great grandfathers, we are men of God. So it's in the blood. Pastor Chris is not doing well today. He's not doing well. So that's what we're talking about. Foundations, there are good foundations, there are bad foundations. Just like you're building a house, you have a good foundation in your building will stand. If you have a bad foundation, of course, the building can collapse at any time. But the essence of this video is for you to check yourself and to know whether, ask yourself a question. Do I really have bad foundation? If I really have bad foundation, what can I do? What can I do to break it? Because if your foundation is spiritual, then you have to go spiritual to break it. There are people who they are always dreaming bad dreams. Their dream world is nothing to talk about. Always seeing themselves in the dream traveling to the village. Always seeing themselves in the dream traveling to the village. They are always seeing themselves in the dream going to the village. They are always seeing they have finished education for years, but they are always seeing themselves going back to secondary school they have left for years. They are seeing themselves taking an exam, primary school exam in the dream. They are seeing themselves snakes or any other thing, other things are pursuing them. Masquerades are pursuing them. Check yourself. If it is what you are experiencing, you may have a very bad foundation. You may have a very bad foundation, and you need to tackle it. If not, you don't make a head. You don't make a head. You don't make a head. Are you hearing me? In fact, let me tell you the truth. Even in my own family, at least I can boast of two persons that make their first 1 million naira at 24 years. In my family, I can boast of at 2 persons I know that at 24 years I made their first 1 million. I'm talking about 24 years. One of them was in school, and in the school, he made his first 1 million while in school. In school, while in school, he got a better job that even made him to be going from the job to the school. So there are people like that. There are families like that. So, but in a situation where in your family everybody struggles, nobody can raise his head, it's a problem. It can also come in a particular sickness. A particular sickness is, your grandfather sick BP. First generation sick it, second generation sick it, third generation sick it. It may not be BP, it may be any other sickness, but it runs in the blood. Then it's a foundational problem. But in that type of foundational problem, it's a foundational problem in sickness way. Your father is the same thing, your mother is the same thing. In fact, your lineage from your mother, from your father, the same thing. It's a foundational problem. You need to tackle it. You need to break it. You need to fight it, because anything you don't fight will fight you. There are certain families where a particular sex, they don't have a particular sex. It's always very difficult. There are 5 boys, there are 6 boys. But if you go to their children, maybe the first son does not have a woman, no woman. The first son, a boy is born. The second son, boy is born. The third son just have 1 girl out of 6 boys. The fourth son, boys. Are you getting me? They're always having male children. They don't have girls. It could be a foundational problem. Don't say because in Africa boys are being valued. Not lie. The way boys are, that's how girls are. It could be a foundational problem, because there are certain people in those days that kill male children or kill a young man, and that man vow that you will never have a child. Or the parents of those people you kill their child, in those their father, maybe your forefather killed their child, vow that male children will not cry in your family, or female children will not cry in your family. Maybe you kill your female children and they vow. I tell you, that generation, that's how to get that female children will be very difficult, or to get that male children will be very difficult. It can become a foundation. Are you hearing me? Vice versa, it could be maybe you are having girls. I'm not talking a situation where in a family where 1 or 2 maybe have more girls. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where your uncle does not have a female child. Your second uncle does not have. Your third uncle does not have a female child. Your father does not have now. Or not get female child. Even your first son now no get female child. It's a foundational problem. Something caused it. Because it's not like that from the beginning. Every child, when a child is born, everything it takes to born male and female is in that child. Unless there's something that bridges a particular sex. So in a situation where in that particular family, you people are experiencing that, your father's brothers experience it, and you people are not experiencing. That's what I'm talking about. First person, second person, third person, fourth person is experiencing the same thing. Then it's a foundational problem. You need to fight it. Or in a family, you people are few. Okay, you looking at me now, maybe you people are just 2 in your family. 2. Your father had you only 2. It's not because your father is willing to have you only 2. But conditions came up. Foundation brought up conditions that made him to have 2. Not only you, your father's brother, the one that senior him, it's the same thing. Now 2 him born. Even now only 1 son he gets. He never born again. The other one, about your uncles, about 4 or 5 of your uncles. Now 1, 2, then they born. They born more than that. It's a foundational problem, bro. It's a foundational problem. Don't say, I'm not talking about, there are people, factors can come up. Maybe they married at good age and menopause hit them. They cannot have. It's okay. Or maybe there are some medical issues that came up. They are not able to, they are willing to have, but they don't have. Or the thing never entered. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 4 persons experiencing the same thing in that family. Now 1, 2, then they get 1. They go try to burn up nothing. One issue must come up for one person, the same thing. If you trace their lineage, his father said the only son, his great grandfather the only son, it's a foundational problem. You will not understand. It's a foundational problem. You need to fight it. You need to break it. I'm going to give you an advice Now, there are certain foundations that need deliverance. I know many of you watching this video now, most of you don't believe in deliverance. Deliverance is correct. You need deliverance. There are foundations. If you know you have a bad foundation, you are seeing here, I have my own foundation. I am an African, and I begin to deal with it for years, and I begin to break it for you. I begin to see light in my life. Are you hearing me? So many people have different foundation. Are you hearing me? So if you know you have a bad foundation, then make inquiries, ask questions. You can ask your father certain questions. You can ask your mother certain questions. From there, you'll be able to trace that, look, this is a foundation. Then if it's a foundation that need for you to go to deliverance, go for deliverance. Be sure the kind of person that is going to deliver you. Of course, we have fake men of God. All men of God are not fake. We have genuine men of God who God have called for this purpose. There are genuine men of God. If you don't know, I may ask questions. There are genuine men of God who God have brought in this, who God have kept aside for this purpose. Everybody have his own ministry. There are people who have deliverance ministry. Their own they have the gift from God. It's not charm. That's their own gift. They are there. If you don't know, you ask questions. They can help you, deliver you. You need to undergo deliverance. I hear me. And I want to let you know that you as a person, there are certain foundations you will be operate that you will have. If you don't know God, there is nothing you can do. That foundation will persist. The first thing you must do, you must have a good relationship with God, because it's only God that can. Because it is God that knows the root. When those things were happening there, maybe your father self did not know about it. There are certain foundations your father don't even know. The person that will be able to tell himself is your great grandfather. So you must know God. You must go back to the Creator. You must look for help from the Creator. You must have a good relationship with God. You must undergo deliverance, and then you must be a prayer warrior. You must be a prayer warrior. You have to learn how to pray. Every night you have to pray. Engage in the force of prayer. Tell God, this foundation cannot work in your life. This foundation cannot operate in your life. It cannot work in your family. Break the foundation with prayer. Break it. As you are praying, pray for your children that this foundation cannot transfer to your children. You pray, you keep praying. Are you getting me? And you get close to God. You pray. You deliver yourself. You pray, you deliver, you look for help, spiritual help. Then prayer. There are some certain foundations that if you don't pray always, as you stop praying, they will come. When you start praying. So of course there are foundations that it cannot also break because of things that we are done. Before those kind of foundations can be broken, then certain rituals have to be done, and you cannot do certain rituals, such kind of rituals. Now, you cannot trace. Maybe there are certain places they do certain rituals, you cannot go there. But with constant prayers, you can be suppressing them. And they will allow you to see light. Certain, it can be with prayers, with the force of prayers, it can be suppressing foundation. And you see, just like some people are holding you and blocking you on the way and holding you. Prayer can make you do hand like this, they will fall. You do hand like this, they will fall. You move forward. And you keep moving, and they will come back again. You do hand like this, they will fall. You do hand like this, they will fall. And then you move forward. Prayers, force of prayer can make you keep growing, you keep moving. That's what you can do. So I want to let you know, if you have a foundational problem, fight it today, and you will conquer. The Almighty God, the God of the universe, the God of all flesh, will help you. Foundation cannot hold, you must succeed. Please, if you're watching my video for the first time, if you're watching me on YouTube, I want you to subscribe to my channel. If you're watching me on Facebook, I want you to follow me. If you're watching me on TikTok, I want you to follow me. See you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.